Parts of the Truth. This is Pita de Aslan, like Peter S. Lopez, transmitting from Sacramento, California. Radical politics. First of all, not everything is about politics. Though politics remains war without bloodshed. And war is politics with bloodshed. Bloodshed. People bleed. People die in war. And we use the power of the internet to influence mass consciousness, to help to raise consciousness in general. Not just about politics, about life in general, about reality in general. So we need to see that it's not all about politics, but those who are involved in politics, whether they consider themselves activists or not, need to see that we are spiritual beings incorporated into a bodily form. And to keep a balance in life. I'm into radical politics. You could be into whatever you want to be. I'm also into radical recovery, a little bit about astrology, history, anthropology, philosophy, and knowledge in general, with the love of knowledge, And we know that President-elect Trump will be the next President of the United States. And the left wing is broken. To review, the left wing is broken. The whole left and right wing concept, that came from France, from century before last. We're still using the same old stupid left wing, right wing dialectic, which is stupid. It's outdated. We need to get rid of that whole concept. And so I see now where there's in the arena of politics, there's liberal, progressive, and the more radical politics. I'm into radical politics. To me now, we are in the Trump era. Fascism has become more stronger in the United States. I think throughout the world. So we need to be able to change our concepts, change our ideas, and know that circumstances change in time and space. And if we don't change with changing times, then we become out of date, we become irrelevant to the reality that we face now as an endangered species on Earth. We need to flush the whole left-wing thinking no longer applies. We're in the 21st century. And we need to not get stuck in the past, but be here now. And being here now, we need to keep a balance, not get lost in changing times. A lot of people nowadays, they have, especially online, they have ADD, attention deficit disorder, or ADHD. And we need to see that to influence consciousness, we need to be able to grab the attention of people so they pay attention, so that they are open-minded and willing to learn, willing to hear out different opinions than their own. Many activists forget that it's not all about action, it's also about the thought that enhances that action. So that we act with consciousness, we act with a plan of action, a projection for the future. So we don't go blindly into areas that we may not really know much about. Right now we see that, or I see that, the U.S. is getting locked up into a Cold War .2 against Russia. I myself respect Putin, you know, the leader of Russia. And I'm glad Trump won, and I'm glad that the witch Hillary lost. Hopefully Trump will be able to work together with Putin to make it a better world. You know, I remember when I was in junior high, and we had the big Red Scare about the Red Army and stuff. We used to have these air raid drills, and you go in the hallway, and you know, we'd crouch down and hide our heads, you know, hands over our head, and to prepare for a nuclear war, which is so shows you how idiotic America can be. As if crouching down on your knees and hiding, putting your hands over your head is going to save you from a nuclear war. Idiotic. And we had like fallout shelters. I'm 65, so it might be ahead of, you know, way before you came around, before you were born. And I remember we had like block monitors where you get like a little emblem you put on your door in case there's nuclear war. You know, you can go there for safety. So understand that all this hype about World War III and dangers of nuclear warfare and all that are real, but behind all that is corporate fascism. War is big business. The more that they can get people, especially stupid American people, hung up on preparing for a war So let's spend billions on war. Then the more that the potential for war will exist. And fascism wants to see war between the USA and Russia, which would involve China. Not because they want to defend or protect Americans, but because of money. In America, money is God. We are ruled by evil psychopaths. Be fully aware of that. We are ruled by psychopaths who do not have the natural empathy for people who suffer, for people who are hungry, for people who live in poverty. And they really don't give a damn if we lose 100 million people in war or not. They may have avenues off planet that we don't know about. If you do your research, you'll see that there's a lot going on that we don't really know about. Or at least the general population knows little or nothing about. So now with politics in general, you got to face the fact that whether we agree with him or not, Trump will be our next president. And in a way, this is good because he woke up a lot of so-called liberals and so-called progressives. And so they see that they were unable to get the support of the people for their progressive agenda. Now life has gotten so much more intense to it, so much more intensity that merely being progressive is not enough. So-called progressives need to get radical. Need to go to the roots of matters. Know that fascism is getting stronger in the USA, and white racism is getting more bolder. White supremacists. The old ways didn't work. We never had a strong vanguard party. Remember that now electoral politics is controlled by one corporate war party, disguised as a false illusion between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. We need a strong third party, or multiple parties, if we're going to be involved in electoral politics at all. Some people could question whether we even should be involved in electoral politics. We need to flunk the electoral college. Know that the whole election system is rigged against us. We don't even have direct elections. They go through the electoral college. So you yourself do not really vote for a president. So where's the power of the vote? So that's just in the USA. I speak of global revolution global, not just American. We need to look at stuff from a global perspective. The American population right now is suffering from paranoid schizophrenia. Major portions of reality they don't see. The USA is not really a free nation. It's the internal colony of the U.S. empire. See, we accept these definitions of reality without question. We assume, well, the USA is a nation, a free nation. We are living under a fascist empire, centralized in the USA. We're not a sovereign nation. We're subjects of the empire. We're an internal colony of the empire. It has external colonies all over the world. So if we don't comprehend that, that means our consciousness is sliced off from a major portion of reality. Plus the whole 9/11 history, you know, where the U.S. was behind 9/11. And if Americans are still in denial about that, they have a lot to learn. So that's why I say, because America is suffering from paranoid schizophrenia. When they slice off from their consciousness major portions of reality, slice off from their consciousness, history, actual history. And those who are more intelligent have investigated these matters. And the complicity of the Bush regime in 9/11, the evidence is already in. Whether you've studied yourself or checked it out, that's on you. So we have the government that we deserve, either because of our action or our non-action. We get caught up in illusion. The illusion of choice when you have really one corporate party. And they get people psyched out like, well, you know, if you're for the working class, you're going to be for the Democratic Party. And look at the Bernie Sanders fiasco. He was like a plant. Here he is talking about independent, talking about political revolution and stuff, and then Hillary steals the Democratic nomination from him. And then Bernie Sanders turns around and supports and endorses Hillary Clinton. And all those Bernie Sanders supporters were fooled. They were fools. Fools. F-O-O-L-S. Fools. To continue to support Bernie Sanders. In reality, he's become so irrelevant. It was in that gap that crazy Donald Trump was able to win. So it's not really, it doesn't take a scientist to figure that out. You know, the left wing broken, progressive forces perverted by Bernie Sanders, and people worried about the migrants, the immigrants coming over here and taking jobs, like say migrants from Mexico, taking jobs that U.S. folks don't even want to do. Who picks your fruits? Who picks your vegetables? Who does your yard work? So we need to have comprehensive immigration legislation and offer a form of amnesty to Mexican immigrants. Remember, we now consider as the U.S. Southwest was once northern Mexico. See, brown people of La Raza Cosmica the only home they've ever had is in the Americas. We're not talking about them being from Europe or from the Middle East. They're from here. Historically, for eons, and Chicanos, or who you might consider as Latinos, Chicanos are natives. We were natives of these lands before there was an America. Many of us still refer to the U.S. Southwest as Aztlan, A-Z-T-L-A-N. And many Latinos think of themselves in terms of their country of origin as Cubanos or Puerto Ricans, etc. Not as the brown people. Now, black people know, they know they're black. Originally from Africa. So we need to analyze the history of genocide in the USA. First against the original natives, the indigenous people here, so-called Native Americans, who were native before there was an America. And the genocide against African slaves. So now we have a patriarchal society where men rule. The whole myth about the founding fathers, who in Maine were white slave masters. They weren't my fathers. Many white Americans to them, they think, well, the founding fathers. Jefferson was a slave owner. So you need to study American history with a new vision. So you better understand why things are the way they are now, why you live in such a patriarchal, male-dominated society that still oppresses women. Sexism. And in the process of all that, we need to know ourselves, to keep a balance in life between our concern with what's going on in the political arena, what's going on in the spiritual realms. See, a lot of our disorders, like mental disorders, really have a spiritual basis. We really don't know. We really don't know who we are and why we are the way we are. Because we don't know ourselves. We don't know what makes us tick. We don't understand our own motives. So there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to learn. We need to learn with an open mind. And as I said when I started out, that it ain't all about politics. A lot of it is about spiritual matters. We are spiritual beings. B-E-I-N-G-S. We are not doings, we're beings. We exist in the trinity of the mind, body, and soul. There's really only one dominant race on Mother Earth. It's the human race. Some people say Gaia. I like the term Mother Earth. No, there's really no separate DNA, separate black, brown, yellow, white race. There's only one race. Now, we'll lynch someone because of the color of their skin. How sick is that? Americans vote for a billionaire for president. How sick is that? Now, if you're a billionaire, more power to you. I'm on SSI, barely make $1,000 a month. My rent's $501. Over half of what I make goes towards rent. So people are suffering here in the richest country in the world. The 2008 recession for the so-called middle class, which is shrinking, was a major depression for the lower classes. So middle class recession for one group of people could be a severe depression for those who are poor, down and out. And to think that we still live in the so-called United States is another illusion. This country is not united. This country is in major ways divided. We're divided by class, by race, by sex, almost any other kind of potential division we have. So we need to work together as humane beings, try to make it a better world for us and our descendants. Overcome our divisions. See, we have common survival needs: food, clothing, shelter, medical care, and quality education. Remember that. Radical politics is about serving the people's needs. N-E-E-D-S, people's needs. Food, clothing, shelter, medical care, and quality education. When we start losing track of our needs, start getting hung up on capitalism, socialism, Democrat, Republican. We forget about our needs, our survival needs. We can get lost. We can easily get lost. And right now I see that many people are lost. They have no vision, no vanguard party, no strong, aggressive vanguard leadership, no systematic coordination. And now the peasants are trying to attack so-called progressive websites and stuff. We're in the masturbatives. It's going to get worse. We need to take care of ourselves on a personal level, here and now, and be concerned with what's going on in your local community. Yeah, we cry out what's going on in Yemen and other countries, but where are you? Are you in Yemen? Are you in France? Now, where are you? I'm here in Sacramento, California. I go outside, there's an old black lady out there who's just sleeping on the sidewalk. Crackhead and all. So this is the reality here in Sacramento, California, USA. So politics is one way we can influence mass consciousness. Another way to create change is to create change in your soul, in your mind, in your being. As Gandhi alluded to, being the change you want to see in the world. You be the change. You be the leader of your own life. Not no president, not no one else. You. You have your life. You live your life the way you see it, the way you want it. And politics and internet and videos and stuff, blogs, whatever, those are just ways to influence consciousness, ways to expand consciousness, ways to uplift your soul. They're not ends in themselves, they're just processes that we use to enlighten people. And hopefully lighten the burden of poverty and oppression, because at least we're aware, at least we're awake, at least we stay awake, at least we try to awaken other people so that their lives are meaningful. If we're going to go down into extinction, at least let us go down aware, awake, not stuck on stupid. Saturday here in Sacramento, my favorite day of the week is Saturday. And I'm just throwing this out there into the cosmos and we'll see where it lands. Power to the truth.